Alrighty, there we are. Hey guys, welcome to the Monday morning weekly review. And look at this, you're getting to see behind the scenes here with getting to see the actual house, which means that I wasn't prepared. You're seeing too much. Watch. Now, if I click this button, though, I'm going to yeet you out of here, I think. Let's see here. If we go. Oh, look at that. That ain't working. So I guess you get to see the behind the scenes of exciting world of Get Going Fast, the real office. Doon, 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 doon. Although that's bugging me now. Now I want to go over to here. There we go. Hey, look at that. It's magic. The magic of AI. Noah has just popped in. Noah, it's good to see you. Get this camera moved around here. I want to be able to look at my camera without looking out, or look at my screen without looking like I'm looking off into space. Good to have you guys. Welcome back. It's been another week. I don't know what the weather's like where you're at. It should be totally iced out here by now, and we're still having like spring days, which is really weird, but whatever. Is what it is. I'm up a little bit late, so still drinking my coffee and eating my toast. I don't know how you guys do it. I get into these loops where I'm going to bed at a normal time, and then all of a sudden, I can't go to sleep till like 2 or 3, 4 in the morning. So then I'm just like, well, whatever. We'll just guess we're on a night shift now. So I'm going through one of my night shifts at the moment. Looking for a video here. I'm going to show you. Oh, there it is. We've got a new intro for for Get Going Fast. NineLayerNiger went ahead, made something for us. So that was awful nice of him. But hey, so I do want to welcome you guys here. Be sure to comment, say hi in the comment section. I think we got a lot to go through today. It was kind of a busy week. I worked on a lot of home projects, a lot of Get Going Fast projects. So not so much even installing stuff that's coming out, but worked on a bunch of just little things to give out to you guys to play with, show you that it can be done. And that's kind of the way that this goes with a lot of with the cycle is you get these moments which like everything in the world is coming out, and then all of a sudden there's like not very much coming out, or there's a certain something coming out. And I've talked about this in the past. I think what they do is things come out in these cycles where they're competing for the next image thing, so then all of a sudden all the image stuff pops out, and then they're competing for the audio stuff, so all the audio stuff pops out. And then you kind of hit a lull. I think we're in a little bit of a lull, but there's so much to work on still too. My goodness, I guess we could probably say the push this week, there was all this Meta came out. We're going to talk about that. Meta came out with their new Midjourney. Google came out with some more AI tool stuff. So it was a lot of online things that happened this week. But we'll take a look here in a second. In the meanwhile, be sure to say hi. NineLayerNiger just popped in. Nine's one of our Blue Star members. So I'm going to take my hat off to you, Nine. Good to have you here. Be sure to pop in and be part of our wacky races. Oh my gosh, look at that. I redid the screen there when we restarted. Got rid of that background. Here I am. Hey-o. So be sure to pop in, be part of the wacky races. We're trying something new. You can choose which vehicle you want to be in. We'll have to find a way to keep track of that. But as usual, the more you speak, and it's a weird algorithm. I don't know how exactly. We have seen some of the craziest races where it's like one person. We had last week, I think one person was just talking a bunch, and then they didn't even get the first place. It was weird. So I'm not sure how the algorithm works, but you can be guaranteed it is a fun race for all. Let's really quickly pop on over. Make sure that we are live. We are weekly review, and let's do okay. So there we are. Over here, you can always follow the wacky races by clicking on your top fans. So as you see, we've only got 2 in the race at the moment. That's Noah and Nine. So if you want to get in there, be certain to do that. I'm using peanut butter toast, by the way. Breakfast of Champions. All right. Well, I guess at some point we should probably get into our weekly review. Again, it says here we've got 4 people watching, so not a lot, but you other 2 make sure to come say hi. Let's get off of here. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our weekly review, but I've got to I got to play our new weekly review intro here. Hold on. See if I can get this into the browser. I'm telling you guys, we need more. There we go. Nine made this for us. So as we go into our weekly review, let's go ahead and play the weekly review scene.
Get going fast. Get going fast.
Yo, time for the weekly review. Yo.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Nine. Yo. That's great. So I'm not sure what Laura he used on that, but that was really well done. So thank you, Nine. I appreciate that. All right, so let's start here. We started with VoxCPM. Now, this took up a lot of my week, this Vox, because to be honest, I've been spending a lot of time with my my bot, my Discord bot. I'm trying to get that Discord bot to a place where I can get it function and then handle it out in modules. So here's the image, here's the eyes, here's the ears, here's the vocal abilities, and then you can install it in modular place. And I'm I get it working, then I break it. But Vox was one of these things that I'm using as the background for the voice, and it's very powerful. I wish that my computer was a little bit faster. I could get a little bit more instant type stuff, but it's still working good. So let's go ahead and take a look at this app. Now, I went ahead and created this entire app, or me and the chat bots did, vibe programming, and so this is not something that you can find online. But VoxCPM usually it works through. No, actually, no. I take that back. I am sorry. I completely take that back. With humbled hat off, take it back. This actually, no, this used as a template. So the original had a bunch of Chinese in it and did not have some other stuff in there that I added, but I took it and I changed it. So you actually can find a normal radio app of this, but this is the plus version. I added the voice library, I added the batch generation. As well, when you load up a clip, let's say if we load this voice up here, you actually have the ability to, once you get your clip, you're going to change them. Anyways, you can scale it around to get the piece. And the bottom line is VoxCPM is pretty cool. This is a great little app. We get some good voices from it. I guess I probably should have pulled up a, so let's click this, some examples.
Going fast is the only way to get going fast with AI. I know this because I'm the bat.
Yeah. I love that one. That actually cracks me up. I don't know if you guys watch those, I think they're called Bat Canned or whatever on YouTube, and it's pretty funny. It's like a really dumb Batman. Anyway, but you can see you're getting good sounds through that. The features: download any video, automatically grab a random 8-second clip, search the site of downloaded video for the exact timestamp, save your previous voice models, batch generate, which is always good, and better output error so you can figure out what's going on. Oh, that actually I'm going to get into showing you. You know what? I should just pop straight into that before I forget it. I've gotten into a new way of debugging some of these apps. So, like when you're loading up these apps, is that actually up here? I guess we could get into that later. You know how when you're debugging these apps, the screen pops up and then it pops down? So I've gotten into a new method of how to avoid that. And actually, I'll show you how to do that here in a second. But let's just go back to what we were doing. Let's get past VoxCPM, because I do think we talked about that the week before. Bill Gates wants a humanist superintelligence, but who will watch the Watchmen? Now, I'm going to admit this article, I kind of triggered me a little bit. And so I had opinions about this article that then once going back and reading it, I was like, yeah, I don't know that that's actually what it was saying. So this is one of those ones where you kind of got to read between the lines. The bottom line is I triggered on the word humanist and Microsoft, of course. Humanist supposedly to be for the good of humans, although it really, the underlying zeitgeist of humanism is that humans are essentially good and that we just have bad systems, you know, that bring out the worst in us. But if only we have something that can watch out for the actual innate goodness of humans, then we'll flourish like the Garden of Eden. And unfortunately, I just don't see that is a truth. I think that humans tend to do incredible works of beautiful art, but do incredible works of evil. And so I think typically society is like, it's like an artichoke plant. If you ever seen those, they go up and they look like crowns, but eventually they collapse under their own weight. And so when I see Microsoft and I see big humanist superintelligence, I go, ooh, what could go wrong, right? So let's take a quick look. Microsoft forming a new team to research superintelligence and other advanced forms of artificial intelligence are great. So Bill Gates, the guy that wants to push, your vaccines across the globe and thinks that a lot of people need to die, not that he wants it, but that he stated that, it's going to have to happen. This is the guy we want in charge of superintelligence. There's on a side note, I'm kind of going off here, but I always have a saying that's like, if you're in a boat and there's just two of you and enough food for one, the last person that you want that other person to be is a pragmatist, right? Last person you want to be stuck in a boat with only enough food for one is a pragmatist, because they're going to convince you that it's better that you starve than them. And that's what is happening with these kind of things is you get up and they got their ideas about, what's best for humanity and how you need to suffer and how you need to this. Of course, the Microsoft and Gates Foundation, of course, has been real big with the global warming thing, which, by the way, Bill Gates just last week, or maybe it's 2 weeks ago now, stepped off and said global warming is not the big issue now. But that was the big issue on which everything was predicated here, right, for the last several years. But all of a sudden now, no, it's not. Now we're just going to get involved with super intelligence. Okay, well, what are we going to do? The bottom line, it doesn't sound that bad. Again, I kind of triggered reading this, so when you read it, it's not as terrible as you think. But the move comes as big tech companies race to attract top A researchers. Okay, they get this guy Soliman. Before joining Microsoft, he co-founded DeepMind, which Google bought in 2014. Reducing the reliance on OpenAI, which is not a bad thing. Musk himself said that we need we need lots of competition, and I agree with that. That's how we keep things from becoming oppressive. When we have one political party, or we have one political persuasion, one massive thing that rules all, then it starts to dominate all other thought. So we obviously need competition. Okay, so here it goes. Sullivan said Microsoft isn't trying to build an infinitely capable generalist. He doubts such systems could be kept under control. Okay, so I guess he doesn't want AGI. So AGI is like can do everything. What he wants to develop is called humanist superintelligence. It's like you put the words together. It's like we don't want this one thing. We want it with this. It's like you're not socialism. We want democratic socialism. Right? It's like, it's not a turd, it's a turd with sprinkles. And so the kind of things you have to be careful with, because they throw words together to make you go, oh, it's not, oh, yeah, I mean, yes, it has a scary word in there, but we'll put this other word in there. But what they don't realize with people like me, your word, which you think is not scary, is actually a scary word. So, always ask the questions, and then it goes on. Humanism requires us to always ask the question, does this technology serve human interests? Okay, and I think this is where we'll get to the point of this, and then we'll move on here, is does this technology serve human interests? Who is asking the question? who's defining what human interest is and who's saying what needs to be done. So again, the Gates Foundation was sitting there and telling you that you need to eat bugs and you're going to have to own less and all this stuff because of climate change, right? Because for the betterment of humans, this is the human interest. So you get these kind of things that they're going to define what human interest is, and then they're going to enforce the things that serve those human interests. We're not talking about a giant brain that's going to sit there and think about, it's not like you're reading iRobot by Asimov. I don't know if you guys ever read iRobot by Asimov. They the whole point of that book is that eventually the robots get to a point where they are leading the humans for actually what's better with humans. But in that, there's no one person that's actually defining what the robots are doing. The robots are figuring it out themselves. That's not what they're talking about here. They're not talking about creating an intelligence that can question its own morality and that can look at itself and they're not talking about God, okay? They're talking about a system that's designed to do better things. And if it's better for you to not say certain things, to watch your pronouns, to not criticize the government, to not question climate change or whatever, then that's in the human interest. And so again, it just leads us back into, like, we're talking about super intelligence from a company that has not shown a whole lot of I would say good faith or well-established perspective on that. And the point is, it's coming. Does it make me feel good that Microsoft and Bill Gates is working on it? No, it doesn't. Okay. But anyways, there you have it. That's coming down the pike. So I think our purpose with this is to say, keep our eye on the ball. We don't want one company building the super intelligence. We need companies. We need a bunch of them. So anyway, all right, let's move forward here. Before we do, let's quickly check in over here. Looks like Mike K has popped in. Mike K is one of our star members. Mike, good to see you, brother. Hats off to you. Always good to have you. BGG popped in. Sup, BGG? Good to see you guys. I'm going to give you guys, you can share these hundreds and whatnots I gave you. Let's really quickly check out the wacky races. Let's go over here, and there's only going to be the 4, but BGG popped in. So I guess he got 2 there at the end. He's popped up into the first place. Noah is still holding on to second, even though he only spoke the once. I don't know how this algorithm works. We got Mike K and then 9. All right. Well, good. Races are off to a good start. We'll see who else joins in. Says we got a few more people watching, so be sure to come in and pop in and say hi. All right. Let's move on. Okay, so here's the fresh features, more VoxCPM stuff. Really great stuff. Guys, again, if you're working with bots, VoxCPM really does a good back end. And you can throw this stuff into ChatGPT or to DeepSeek and just say, help me connect my bot to this server. And it works very well. And you can clone voices, everything. I think it's actually really brilliant. All right. All right. Okay, so big news, Meta and Midjourney come up with unlimited free generations here. Let's see. Yeah, so I did this video for free over at there. Hey, look at that handsome guy. I guess we could probably, yeah, this is pretty cool. I guess we could probably just head on over there. Let's see if we do this. Meta.ai. Okay, so the cool thing about this, now, okay, let me just say, off the bat, this is a little bit out of the purview of what I usually do, because I usually just focusing on local stuff we can do on our computer. But, you know, hey, I use professional stuff, particularly when I want to do professional stuff. But this is pretty cool. This is a big move. Obviously, Meta is Facebook, so you're going to be seeing more and more stuff. I mean, look at the quality of stuff that's, wow, look at that. Look at the quality of stuff that's coming out here. And the amazing thing about this is it's not just free, but it's unlimited free. So a lot of these things you have to, you get tokens to play with, and then, wow, and then you can only do so many. This you can sit and just do and do and do and do, and so it was definitely worth our time. Now I went ahead and let's see here, if I can find. Oh, yeah. So, okay, just a reminder, this is funny, this cloud thing. Just a reminder, every week we have a weekly challenge over on the Discord where NineLayerNiger posts something for us to try. And then you can use whatever you want to try to get it done. Now, normally I wouldn't use an online thing, but we were supposed to make this guy juggle, and we were having a really difficult time with getting the juggling going. Even here, it's not great, but I threw it into here. But look at what you do. You make something out. It gives you like a whole bunch of options to pick from, and then you can just pick that, and then you can animate them. Let's see. I've made some. And oh, by the way, here you can see here. This is the kind of thing that I tend to use professional stuff for. I want like a quick logo thing going on, but I don't want to spend 8 years developing it locally. I get it done for free at professional. This is when I tend to go professional. I worked on a lot of this kind of stuff. Again, really amazing stuff that you can do with this, and then you're able to load it up and then change the style, animate it. Real easy stuff. I think the reason they're giving this for free is because Facebook is obviously a content generation, or not content generation, it's a content sharing platform. So they want people to engage with the website, which means they want things people want to click on. So for them, it makes good sense. They're like, let's spend $1 billion building this thing up, because then people are going to be making $5-10 billion worth of content for us. Because I mean, they make money off your content. Not that they're resharing it, but that people are clicking on it. Okay, look down here. We've got more stuff. See, they just click this little animate button. It's really easy, and then it'll go ahead and animate the thing. Up there, it takes a few minutes, but okay, easy peasy. All right, well, we'll let that sit, and we can come back to that. I'm going to close out this, close out a couple of articles. All right, let's move on with some. Oh, here's something that I made with the Mid-Journey meta. I thought this is kind of cool, so I used Clipchamp to clip it up, and then I used Suno to put it all together. All right, so there you have it. So again, I like to use the professional stuff to do promo things. When I'm in business mode, I'm like, I want to get something done real fast. I'll go to Mid-Journey, do that kind of stuff. Okay, here's where we were talking. Let's move up to debug your bat files. I'm going to show you some technical stuff here, real easy, and it's something that I've started to do with my apps. I'm trying to find my way over here. Something I started to do with my apps to make it easier when people are trying to install this stuff. All right, so let's look over here. Boy, my screens are all out of whack today. I think it's because I was playing with Rope and playing with their live stream face swap stuff and messed things up. Anyway, Okay, so let's go over here, and normally I have like, oh, where's that at? Normally I have a, installer on there. I don't know why they did. Let's open this up, and I think it's gonna. You know what? I'm just gonna do this like this. I want to show you a way to keep your things from floating down, from closing up real quick. But let's just do it like this. I think this will be the easiest way. Give me just a second here. My apologies. My goodness. This is that prep stuff I should be getting done before we get in here. Okay. Can you see me typing here? You should be able to. Okay, so typically, you know, you'll run apps and it clicks up there, and then it goes down. And I get all the time, all day long, I'm getting people saying, I can't see what the error is. It pops up, it pops down, and I go, I know you need to run it out of command terminal. And then they're like, well, what is command terminal? like okay, this is how you have to do it. Okay, so here's what I started to build it. Let's say you're doing your apps. Okay, so you're saying, here's my installer. You know, Echo. This is an installer. Let's see if I can zoom this in a little bit for you. Make this a little easier for you guys to read. Let's just do that, I guess. Okay, so Echo, this is an installer. Okay, so that's going to output your Echo. That's going to output those words. Then I go, you know, pip install torch and pip install diffusers. You know, whatever in there. You know, I'm creating my Python virtual environment. You know, or, you know, whatever. Now, let's say they don't have their Python installed correctly, okay? So it crashes, they don't know what the problem is. Or they're trying to install Torch, they don't know what it is. So here's what I've started to do. You can start to use something called tags. So I put a colon here, and I just give it a label. I'm going to call it ERR, okay? I could call it whatever. I could call it label, or this is the greatest label ever. I can call it whatever I want, all right? But then I have to type it in. So I'm going to go ERR. And in here, I'm going to go ahead, and basically what this is a giant go-to command. So it said everything, you can jump to this part of the code, and then all the stuff down here will happen. So let's say I put in here a real basic, I just say pause. So if we go to here, the screen's going to pause. So let's say now I go up to here to my Python-mv, vim, and I say, okay, I want you to run this. Now I'm going to put two things that are called pipelines. I'm going to put two of them up, and those essentially become an OR statement. So it says, try to do the thing on the left, and if it fails, then do the thing on the right. And so what we're going to say is go to ERR. Simple, right? So right here it says, try to run the stuff on the left. If it doesn't work, go to ERR. So then what it would do is it goes, oh, let's say I spelt this wrong. I wrote Python, right? So it's not going to work. And then someone gets that and they're like, oh, no, I don't know what the problem is. It's going to say that doesn't work. So let's jump over here, and it's just going to pause the screen. And then you can see the error. I can put whatever I want in here. I could say, Echo, there was a giant error. You know, whatever. Echo. I can put a dot. If you put a dot right after Echo, that's actually a new line. That's different than this. That would actually print out a period, but this right here prints out a blank line. There was a giant error. I could do all sorts of stuff. I could actually capture the error and then print it out here. I would put something like this. I would say Echo, copy and paste the error above into ChatGPT. Okay, so the bottom line is I can put these all over the place. So I could go down to my pip install torch, put an OR, go to ERR. Go down to my diffusers, or go to ERR. So if I put these all throughout my stuff, it's going to pop on an error. It's going to pop over here. It's going to print this stuff out, and then it's going to pause, which means that they can actually see what's going on. So that's huge. I don't know that I've decided to go back and actually change out all of my old code, but I'm going to start using that from now on because it just saves a lot of time of explaining stuff. to people about what's going on. So that's a really cool thing. Hopefully that opens you up a bit. Okay, fix an error in the Vibe Voice installer. My goodness, I couldn't even believe this was a huge error. So like I created the Get Going Fast, the plus version, and then I didn't even have it installing correctly. So that's my Hall of Shame picture there. Okay, AI Toolkit. I'm not going to go too much into this, but if you guys are wanting to create Laura's, like the fantastic weekly review Laura that Nine played.
Get going fast. Get going fast.
Yo, time for the weekly review. Yo.
Oh, frickin' A. No sound again. Damn it. All right. So we're back with the sound. Okay. So the bottom line is we've got everyone's freaking out. There's no sound. Okay. So we've got Osiris Toolkit over here. Where are we at? I got myself lost. Dang. Okay. So Osiris Toolkit. This is your Laura builder over here for making your Laura. So just like how we showed over here with this, they did that by using the Laura's. Okay, so this is what it looks like now. I can't tell you what how to use this because I'm not really proficient on how to use this, but Fidal Cocoon is very good at using these. I can tell you that first of all, okay, well, you could do like a flux. So like I got 24 gigabytes of VRAM. I could make a flux Laura out of this, but it's going to take a very long time because 24 is going to just about max it out. I've done, I don't know a lot, but I've done SD 1.5, SDXL stuff. And I can run that. You could probably run those down to 16 gigabytes of VRAM. Run those are easier models. And to tell you the truth, they're still very powerful models because you can do a lot of masking and changing, like remove the hat. It's actually still very flexible models to use. You just, obviously they're not flex. You are not going to be able to do Hunyuan or WAN 2.2 or any of the big boy stuff with this on a local machine. There's a couple of guys over on the Discord that have large amounts of VRAM that could do it, but like for guys like we're the most of us, if you want to get into writing your WAN or Hunyuan stuff, you're going to need to rent GPU space. You use RunPod or something like that. But this is the app through which you're going to do it. Okay, so you're going to get this handles it all, and it handles it really incredibly, and it handles it very automatically. So incredibly powerful thing if you want to get into creating Laura's. Again, you can talk to Fidal Cocoon. He's very good at doing this stuff. I should be spending more time making this kind of stuff, but I tend to get lost in the weeds. But anyway, AI Toolkit, powerful. There it is. It's available, easy to install. And I don't think this just runs on Python. I believe that he's actually running this through Java or something like that. But the install handles it. It's a really incredible app. Okay, new speak to your dead relative AI app stirs controversy. Okay, what doesn't stir controversy these days? But I thought this was interesting. Disney Channel stars AI app that creates avatars of dead relatives sparks backlash. Okay, so essentially they've created an app where you can have videos. Let's see. Oh man, where's the original video here? There was an ad here, but basically you could have say your mom. Okay, you get a bunch of images of mom from over the years, and you can chat with her years later, like as if she's alive. And to me, honestly, that's awesome. Like I've been thinking about this for a long time. Like when my mom passes away, not that I want to assume she's still alive, but it will be nice. It's like watching an old VHS tape. I would like to be able to comfort myself at times with hearing her voice, hearing the kind of things that she would have said. And this app is working on that. Now, of course, in the most stupidest manner possible, people are saying it's demonic and you're channeling the dead, which I spent a fair amount of time working arguing with online. You're certainly not demonic. It's software. Not that listen, I believe that demonic exists. This is not demonic. You're not channeling the dead. You're speaking with software that can analyze stuff. And I think the big things that people really get down to here with their complaints, if you really read into it, is that people get lost in the idea that it could be real. And that's like everything else. It's just like chatbots or anything else. You get people that are sitting there speaking with their chatbots, and they're like, "Oh, it's real. It loves me. I want to marry my chatbot. It's like, well, you've got a mental condition. You've lost grip on reality. There are people that lose their family members, and they spend all day at the grave site, just sitting and talking with the deceased relative, or go home and create altars and obsess, or they speak to me in my dreams. And so it's very human to get lost in sorrow, or to get lost in your own loss. And what they're doing is they're trying to put all of that onto an app. And again, I tend to think that it's just backlash. People hear the word AI and they freak out. You guys know this. I'm sure you guys know this. You could go into any random community and just be like, "Hey, this was AI generated," or "Hey, what do you guys think about AI?" And you get visceral responses. People that really don't know what they're talking about, and they flip crap, dude. They flip. Okay, they hate AI, and typically it's because they just don't understand it, or it's like any kind of liberal politics. Like you don't really understand the policy enough. You just have a lot of emotion behind it without really comprehending. And I think this is a similar thing. Again, I wish I'd created this app. I've been thinking about this app for the last year and a half, and these guys have done it. So I think this is incredible. But you're going to hear a lot of different stuff going on about. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it, though. So I think these guys will make a ton of money. This will be the way it is. Well, we'll have movie. I mean, honestly, this is sci-fi. Like at some point, we'll have instead of having like a picture of mom on the wall, you'll have a moving picture of mom on the wall. It's Harry Potter stuff. The moving portraits, and it's just this is the beginning of the future, or holodeck. There's one point I brought out. This is holodeck stuff. So at some point you're gonna be able to create scenes that aren't real. You'll be sitting on a holodeck in Paris talking to somebody. All right, anyway, moving on beyond that, let's take a quick break here really quickly and see what we got going on over here. Okay, so let's go back to the notes. Everyone here is freaking out about the sound being off. Talking about the Discord channels. Looks like Henky dropped in, so welcome to Henky. Henky, of course, is one of the collaborators on KCPP. He says, "Run pod installers I'm really good at." So if you guys want to get some run pod stuff going on, you can speak with Henky over there. I need to evidently have some talk with him. BGS, anyone tried the Quinn multi-angle LoRa? It's awesome. Okay, I will write that down, and maybe we could take a look at it right now. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at Quinn multi-angle LoRa. Get going fast. Get going fast. Okay, that's cool. So, original image, transform the camera into a close-up shot, rotate the camera. Cool. So BGG is the one pointing this out. BGG, you could come share some of the stuff you've worked on. How long does it take to make this stuff? I would be interested to know. We'll definitely play around with that a bit. All right, let's see what Henky has to say. If you're going to do the deal revival, use a local model because I have heard absolute horror stories of the models then being updated and slowly reviewing the talk. I'm not sure what he's talking about there. Technically, a Henky clone model exists because it was trained on the Discord channel, okay? Accidentally benchmarked the Truth QA benchmark because apparently my messages score well there. In and claimed my #1 spot. So he came in here and he has taken number. I'll tell you what, guys, don't give up your don't give up the wacky races to Henky. He's clever. He's clever. He knows what he's doing. And look at that. He's claimed #1. So Mike, if you're going to get in there, you got to you're going to have to pop up there and fight off old Henky. So all right. Good job. You never know what's going on with that. Wow. So BGG says it's 14 seconds per image on that Laura. Okay. I will believe you and we will take a look at that. Okay. Let's get back to this real quick. This Painter ITV workflow is actually really good. So it takes a long time, even though I'm going to tell you, I guess I should tell you what it is. Basically, it smooths out a bunch of these videos. So you know how like when we're doing a lot of these 2.2, we start to use the like the 8-step or the 4-step videos or 4-step Lauras that make it go faster. You get slow motion stuff. So this actually fixes it up there. You can see how smooth this kiss between Taylor Swift and this Ninja Turtle is. All right, that's a very swift kiss. All right, so this was using that Laura. It actually works very good. It does take a bit of time. It's like 4 to 5 minutes for me to get a video. I think maybe I've gotten it down to a couple minutes every once in a while, but I definitely do like the quality. It's an easy workflow. You can get it over here at Get Going Fast. I just put it up there for prairie dogs. You don't even have to be a big prairie dog member, or you can go find it online. It's certainly worth your time, though, to get that going. So I need to play more with that. I've been stuck in the chatbot world again, and working with the audio stuff and getting my bots working. We build them up, we fix them, and then we break them. Okay. This is a fun little one. This is an old app. Well, it's an old technology. Let me see if I can load this up for you really quickly. This optical thing, but optical illusion. That's the word I'm looking for. Oh, crud. Hold on. Let me show you what's going on here. I want to run this for you, but I didn't create a... Whoops. I didn't create a run thing for it. So let's do that really quickly. Let's just open this up and we're going to activate our virtual environment. And then what's the name of the app? Illusion. Or maybe I actually had it in here. Oh, there's the run illusion. Okay, that's the fast way to do it. Okay, we'll let this load up. In the meanwhile, I just made this a little fun little app, but there's actually something more going on here. But first, let me show you the app. Essentially, one of these ones, you throw in an image, it creates a picture, and at first glance, you're like, oh, that looks normal. But then if you squint your eyes, or you get back, all of a sudden you realize, oh, that's actually got a face in there. Okay, so I made this one from scratch. Well, damn it. Hold on. Lost my page there. So I made this from scratch. Again, here you can see this is from the Scorpions album. There, like you can't actually see that there until you start to, oh, there's the hair, the head. If you go back down small, all of a sudden you're going to see there she is. So incredible stuff. Fun little app I made. Now, there's a bigger issue. There's a bigger issue with this. And what the bigger issue is that we've moved Get Going Fast. We've moved into actually being able to start making our own Gradio apps. So it's very difficult to take the stuff that's in Comfy UI and turn it into an actual Gradio app. One2GP, of course, does that very well. But I've always had to, you got all these moving parts. So this is actually my first success of saying, let's take some of these models and turn it into something standalone, which I think a lot of people want. I think a lot of us actually would like to have standalone stuff because we get tired of loading up. Get tired of loading up Comfy UI all the time. Get tired of having to do all this third-party stuff. So I've actually been working on Wan Mocha, basically a Wan Animate, trying to get that into these things. And so hopefully this is the beginning of just more like, hey guys, you want to try this technology? Here's an app. Don't worry about Comfy UI. Just load it up here and give it a shot. That's what I'm hoping for. I hope that's what this stands for. Fun little app for you to play with. I always enjoy this one a lot. And it just, a lot of it has to do with playing with your CFG down there and getting that right. I'm trying to, oh, here we go. Here's the actual app here. Oh, by the way, so it's got a bunch of different apps you can, or models you can do. Set your VAEs if you want, and it will actually download and load those for you. So I'm actually pretty happy with this app. It turned out pretty good. So, okay, I think we're done with that. Let's see, really quickly go over back here. Henky is stirring up some turds over here. By the way, I tried Face Fusion this week. They have a paid installer, but naturally I had to skip that part. So, yeah, I don't support Face Fusion. Face Fusion, I call it Fart Fusion. The guy that developed it is a terrible individual, really bad guy. He actually tried to bring, someday we'll do a video on this. He actually tried to bring Get Going Fast down at the very start, very much bullied us at the very beginning. And I had to take it to Reddit, and we ended up getting over 1 million views. As I pointed out, that this guy hates the open source community, and he would use the DCM. If you guys know what DCM is, that's the digital copyright stuff. He would make false DCM claims against small-time providers. And I tried to take me down on Facebook. He would send me horrible email messages. Then he would do false stuff against me on YouTube. Almost got my site taken down. I finally had to go to Patreon itself and I wrote out like 2 pages of stuff pointing out what this guy had done, and then they finally pushed him back. We got into a big war, by the way, with GitHub. I was out there saying, you got to take this guy off because he was putting everything as an open source, but then he was threatening and using the copyright stuff against people who would actually use his software. So you wanted the open source community, but you don't want the open source to be able to do anything with it. And then you're going to threaten them and I don't support Face Fusion at all. I will say on behalf of GitHub, shame to them, because at the end of the day, they're big money people. They're big number of people. So as a little guy that at that time I only had a couple thousand subscribers, they weren't listening to me. As this guy was abusing his license stuff, and they wouldn't do anything about it. So I will say on behalf of the developer of Fart Fusion that he did change his license, which is good. So he uses an open source license now, but it's more of a modified towards what he's actually more legitimate. But I don't use Fart Fusion. They stole all of their stuff from Rope anyways. So I don't know what happened to Argent Spin and Alucard. Those are the guys that were working with Rope. I don't know if they got threatened. I know they're from like Brazil. Brazil has like hardcore deep fake laws. Maybe they got scared off. I cannot get a response back to them. So I've essentially taken over Rope. I love Rope. Rope is great. And I push that for you. But Fart Fusion took the code from Rope, and that's how they developed what they got. It's, the guy hates the community. Okay. So I wouldn't go to Fart Fusion. I don't support it. I don't make videos about it. But thanks for stirring that turd, Henky. He says, also brand names, there's a new model uncensored called Heretic. Haven't used it yet, but it may allow for better uncensored. Okay, so he must be talking about LLMs. So there's a new LLM called Heretic, I guess. Fully automatic censorship removal for language models. Okay, yeah. Well, Henky, when you get something on this, let us know about it. We would love to see it. I do think we're going to bring this to an end here soon. We still have our wacky races going on. Be sure to get in your last comments before we end. As for what we're going to work on this week, you know, it's kind of out there. I'm not quite sure what we're going to work on. There's a lot of stuff to work on. I'm probably going to end up spending more time trying to take basic models and turn them into Gradio apps. I love to work with you guys with that. I think I'm going to go back to working with some Longcat stuff. I know that NineLayerNiger had he's having good success with a Longcat, so I think that might actually be worth looking back into. Yeah, there's our Longcat workflow. I will say the one thing about Longcat, notice again, we talked about this last week, look at the bird's going to blow up. I could not do an American Eagle without a rifle explosion at the end. It just, somehow it's baked into the cake. So anyway, I think that's what we'll be looking forward to. Would love to have you guys pop into the Discord today, chat with us about what's taking place, what you're working on. Would love to see it. And you know, in the meanwhile, let's go back over here to see how we end up our wacky races. This is it. You got 10, 9, 8. This is how amount of time you got to get in on the wacky races. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So Henky came in and dominated the wacky races. So we're going to give him the, oh, here we go. He came in. We're going to give him the Boulder Mobile. Okay. Done. Looks like Mike K gets the Creepy Coupe. I'd have thought BGG would have got in there. BGG only ended up at number 4. Weird. NineLayerNiger is going to end up getting the converter car. BGG. Get the Crimson Hay Baler. Hey, man, that's not bad. That's not bad. Mark Proudlove, he popped in. Did he say something? I must have missed him. So he's going to end up with the Compact Pussycat, and the Army Surplus Special is going to go to Noah Studio, who was actually gets the props to be the first one to say hey today. So, all right. In the meanwhile, you guys have a good rest of your day. Get something done. We got Thanksgiving's coming up here soon, so hopefully you guys here in America are going to get to spend some good time with your family. I love Thanksgiving. I mean, it's like the one holiday where we actually take a day off just to be grateful. So, I mean, that's pretty awesome. So, hopefully you guys have a good time. I'm going to be traveling towards the end of this week. So we'll see what happens. We'll try to have our weekly review on Monday again. I will be out of state, so we'll be doing it remotely. I'll have a different background. But we'll try to keep things going. And then we're rocking into the Christmas season. So guys, be sure to come over and start hanging out with us on Discord. Last year, we had such a good time just hanging out, working on projects. A lot of me and the moderators, we bonded over the Christmas season and the New Year's. We were all just working on projects. Great time to get into a bigger project thing. I think that was when last year is when I made my Viking and the Cowboy album, and then I fully made images and made full length video for it, and everyone was just working on different stuff. So we'd love it if you guys were part of that. So in the meanwhile, I'm going to give you guys one of these big ones like this. Again, appreciate each and every one of you guys. You're my boys. I love you, man. So we will catch up with you on the other side. And as usual, be good to yourself. Be good to each other, and call your mama. Tell your mama you love her. She's